Greetings everyone, my name is Ketan and I recently got recommended from NSB Visakhapatnam for the INET entry in logistic branch. And in this video, I'll be sharing my experience on how my mindset and my approach toward the SSB got changed after listening to Colonel Yaduvir Singh Sir's lectures on YouTube. Like very other aspirant, I was also scrolling down the YouTube in search of some guidance related to SSB, but every video was explaining about the procedures of SSB and do's and don'ts of the SSB, and some are even explaining about the tricks which I could adopt in order to sail through the SSB. But actually, I need some guidance in order to improve my leadership skills, in order to take out the hidden leader from myself, because I was very much certain that by doing that only I could get recommended, not by just merely knowing the process. So at that time, I encountered the Lakshya Academy channel, in which Colonel Yaduvir Singh sir explained about the two parameters, that is the understanding and the character. These two things give rise to a pain within you. If you have the understanding of the situation, if you have the understanding of the environment around you, and you have a good character, then a pain is developed inside you, and your hidden leader will compel you to solve that pain. That's how you become a solution oriented guy. You will become a status changer. That's how you will enhance your leadership skills. And after listening to this, I on that note only, I know that I have to follow this path only. And day after day, I start searching for more and more videos on Lakshya Academy channel, and I used to make note of that and used to implement all the exercises that are the 5 BRCC exercise every day in my life. And my personal exercise was the connectivity, because as sir always used to say, by doing connectivity exercise, you are connecting the invisible thing with the visible thing. Means you are connecting the invisibility with what you can't see. You're connecting the invisible thing with all the things which are visible to you, and that what really helped me in preparing for my VAT as well as the group planning exercise. I'll explain you later how those helped me later. So starting with my experience, very on the very first day, there was a reporting of almost 70 in the MCO office Visakhapatnam, and they did our documentation and RT-PCR negative reporting were taken, and we were directly sent off to the NSB from their bus. And the very first task was the OIR 1 and 2. If you have a very normal aptitude or very basic aptitude, you will sail through it very easily. Not such very high-fi questions are asked, very simple, very basic, and even if it's complicated, they will even give you the hint in that. So what more do you need? So never take tension about the OIR. Everybody performs well in that. Then moving on to the PPTT. Yes, it's a hazy picture, but if you look at that picture very carefully, you will come across with various small details. And please make the note of that details and try to include that details in your stories. And the number of people you perceive, and the overall should I say, the theme of the story should be perceived very correctly. It's not that you take advantage of hazy picture and you will say like, it's a hazy picture and I can perceive in whatever way I want. So that's not the true case. You have to perceive it as it's given in the picture. And after writing down the story, actually in our case we have to write the PPT twice, because in first case there was some technical glitch and we were shown picture for more than 30 seconds. So after writing down the story, we came out of the hall, they again came back, they again call us back, and we write the PPT twice. So in second picture, the frame of reference was, there were two people standing in a very front of the picture. One is an old lady and a man, and there is a distance of about an agricultural field, and there was again 3 to 4 people standing on the back. So every story was related to some agriculture or water conservation, and I made the story on boring, since in the recent years the groundwater level is very depleting. So that was stuck in my mind, and I made the story on that. So moving on to the next, the narration part. As sir always used to say, the time is a valuable resource. So never waste your time. Everybody knows we got only 1 minute to narrate the story. So why to waste the half of a minute in just describing the age, sex and mood of all the characters in the story? So just be very much crisp in a very short way. Just describe the age, sex, mood of every characters. If the characters are in excessive numbers, so you can give the brackets, like the age are between 33 and 35 or 25 to 35 respectively of all the man and woman present in the picture. So I'll recommend you to be very much crisp in your PPDT part, in narration part, sorry. And then when you start your story should be of a very strong start, so that the assessors won't say next very easily, because what happen is they are used to this process. They know each and every story what can build out of that picture, so they easily say next when they got to know about your story, or when they are not interested in listening to you anymore. So the starting of the story should be very much strong. And then in a GD part, and GD part, basically I follow two things. First is I never let my group go stagnant. I never let my group invest more time on deciding the age, sex, and mood, because that's not the very crucial part. The crucial part is the main theme of the story. And while the narration is going on, you can make a short note in your mind that five people have talked about the water conservation, two have talked about the irrigation, three have talked about some boring, just like in my case, and two people talked very irrelevant. So you know that it's almost about the water is going on, so you can pick up the water conservation and you can go with the GD. And as sir used to say, either मान जाओ या मना लो. So never be rigid to your points. If you start sticking to your points, your group won't like you. They won't include you in their group discussion. So that's how the group discussion work. Never let your group to be stagnant at one point. Continuously try to move your group. Try to move your group towards the central theme, or try to move your group towards the challenges or the aim that your center character wants to achieve. And by doing that, you will automatically get the chance to speak at least 3 to 4 times. For every challenge you can speak, because it can be yours own. And for solutions also, it should be a creative. So at the end of it, when the result came, out of 70, 25 got recommended, that screen in, and out of 25, 5 got uh, immediately were sent off because their antigen test comes out positive after the screening, and one was document out. So we were left with 19. So for the next day, the psychological test start, and since I was practicing the 5 BRCC every day for almost 6 months, I started my preparation in August of 2021, and I got recommended in January 2022. So till since my SSB was on 15th Jan, so till 14th, I was prepared. I was continuously doing the 5 BRCC exercise, and since by doing that, my mindset got positive, and I was no longer in an urge to show someone what I am or to fake myself. So that's the power of 5 BRCC. It will cool down your mind. It will give you a confidence, because by doing 5 BRCC exercise not only improves your knowledge by doing the 5 point perception, brainstorming, connectivity with creative solution and role play, but at the same time it is also improving your level of understanding. It will take your level of understanding to the level which is required in SSB, and when you reach up to that level, your inner core will compel you not to do any show off kind of thing, because that's not the quality of a leader. Leaders never show off, they directly show what they are. So that was my strategy when I went for my SSB. I was not into the showing off. I was just showing what I am from inside out, so that whenever I get assessed by any of the three, like the psychology or the GTO sir, or by the IO interviewing officer, so I came out with the same qualities, not the different. And that's how you can also improve your chances of getting recommendations, if you show the same your qualities to each and every assessors. And now moving on to the psychological test, the first one is the TAT. So as sir used to say, in TATs, always whenever a picture is shown to you, there is a central character, and your central character want to achieve a aim. So I used to break down my story in the following pattern, like I have a central character, he wants to achieve an aim, and in order to achieve that aim, he has to cross through certain challenges, because everywhere in life, whatever aim you decide for, you will encounter some challenges, and you will come out with a creative solution for that, and ultimately there will be some result after solving that challenges. So my TAT goes like, what the center character I'm using, what goal he want to achieve, challenges, solutions, and positive outcome. And it is exactly been explained by one of the videos of Colonel Yudhvir Singh sir. And when you start doing it, you will actually start liking the writing process of TAT. Instead of reading off that 4 minutes, and you will feel very enjoyable. You actually, till the time your tat comes to 11th or 10th or 11th picture, you start feeling that you need more pictures to write, because you are in a very positive mood at the time that you need to express more about yourself. And then moving on, and at the same time, when you got 30 seconds to see the picture, invest complete 30 seconds on that. Try to note down the every details, every corners which you can see in the picture, because if you start including that in your picture, then your presence of mind is being shown. That shows that how effectively you see the picture, or how effectively you utilize your time, other than seeing only the human beings in the picture. So that will be my advice, to see the small details and include that in your stories. And then moving on to the VAT, as I have already explained, the connectivity exercise helped me a lot in my VAT. So basically, in connectivity exercise, you connect the invisible things with the visible things. So initially, by taking any topic, you start to connect it to the other five topics, then slowly move on to the connecting it to the 10, 20, 30, and so on. So by the time I was writing my VAT, I was already prepared with 2 to 3 answers to every word, because my mindset was positive, and my response or my thinking got very much quick related to that wordings. So in my case, I could complete up to 58. So the word which I could not connect it to was the tease, because my very basic nature is not of teasing, so I don't feel like to write anything on that. And the other word, I don't remember exactly what that was. So it could happen with you. It's not necessary to write all the 60. So whatever you write, it should connect it with you, so that you won't show different qualities at different point of time. And moving on to the SRTs are very much simple. The only thing you have to do is you have to put yourself in that situation and think, what will you do if you are in that situation. So when you practice in your house, initially it will be an hectic to imagine yourself in every possible situation, and to find out 2 to 3 solutions for that, and coming out with the best solution, or the best response you can come out with that SRT. So but by the time passes, you will realize that by doing the 5 BRCC exercise and knowing more yourself about your strength and weakness, you are able to solve SRT very effectively, and you are showing exactly what qualities are required to be shown, not the different qualities. So my advice will be to practice the SRT, just putting yourself in that situation. And in my case, I still remember 2 SRTs. That first one was like the CEO. You are with the CEO, and you have to take your team from point A to point B, and it's a cold season, and you have a fever. So what will you do? Since my very basic nature was never to leave any task in between, so my response was, I will take the PCM medicine. I will complete my task, take my team from point A to point B. After reaching at point B, I will take the medical assistance. And there was one more SRT very much similar to that, and it goes like, you are the guard of a post, and you're wearing a very thin t-shirt, and it's a winter time, and you are shivering very badly, and your health is not that much good. What will you do? So my response was, I will call my friend to bring some jacket, or something to cover myself, and along with that PCM, I will take PCM, I will complete my duty, and on the next morning, or whenever my duty got ends, I will get myself checked near the MI room, or in any medical assistance nearby. So that's how I was, from the very first point, I was sticking up to my core values, what I am. Because since again the point comes out to be related to 5 BRCC, when you're doing that, you are basically understanding yourself. Your level of understanding about yourself keeps on increasing. So that's my approach for the SRT. And the SD, the very line that impressed me a lot was the Satyamev Jayate. Like, I was very much true to myself while I was preparing for the SSBs, and I wrote down exactly the truth. Even I don't care what other might think of me, but I was only writing down the truth. And for SD, your truths matter, and at the same time, make sure that your action speaks, not merely by writing that you're punctual, or you have the sense of responsibility, or you are consistent, or you're determined. Your actions should speak. in your past you might have done something, or when you came to know about your mistakes and when you came to know about your weakness, you have tried to do something in order to solve it out. So what were the actions? So if you are saying, like, I wrote down that I'm punctual, so instead of writing that I'm punctual, so I wrote down that I have never been late for my college entire 4 years, not even a single day. I was never late to submit any project or assignments in my engineering. So that's how I wrote it down. So the basic motive is your actions speak louder than your voice. So instead of writing down merely a single word, write down in an action and be very much true to yourself. The point you lie down, because they are the assessors are doing it for a very long time, and it's not very hard for them to catch you out there. So they will ask you some or the other round questions and they will automatically catch you. So instead of writing fake thing, even if it's embarrassing, don't follow the others, don't think that what other might think, just write it down. It's the actual truth. And when you came to know about your weakness, or when you came to know about any mistake which you have done, so try to rectify it now. So there won't be any better time in the future. The time you get to rectify it is the only time when you get to know it. Just try rectifying it. And then here the psychology complete. And for the IO, for my personal interview, and in naval NSB, it was taken by the president of the board. And I'll say I was lucky enough that the IO sir didn't ask any question apart from the PIQ. No question, although I was very much prepared for everything. Every service related question I was prepared, every international national topic I was prepared. I was prepared for the sports I play, the rules, regulations, the dimensions, you name it, and I have everything written with me. I used to maintain a diary in which I used to wrote down everything, my thought process, my weaknesses, my strength, my family weaknesses, my friends weaknesses, my friends strengths, my family strength, everything is written. Because the very first line that sir said was either you will get recommended or you're not interested in the service. So that line changes my whole perspective towards my preparation for that personal interview. Actually, I used to give an excuse like, oh, it was a very uncertain question and I was not prepared for that. But now, since I know that everything is available on Google, the CIQ 1, 2, 3, everything is available on Google. You know what all in-depth question can be asked from your families. You know that they are asking the strength and weaknesses of your families. You know that they are asking everything about your friendships, about your sports, your hobbies. Why not to go in deep in that? Why not to prepare notes in starting itself? And at the same time, one of my advice was what I usually follow when I was preparing for the CIQ 1, 2, and 3. Actually, I used to recite the answer to myself, and in the later part, I used to do it every day. And as the time grew, some of the more memories from my childhood keep on coming back to me, and I keep on including that in my CIQ. That's how my CIQ got very much improved. So you all can adopt that strategy and keep on revising, keep on writing your answers, your response, your memories. Actually, it's all truth. The only thing is you are recollecting it. So that was my basic strategy for the PIQ. Now moving on to the GTO. Task 1 and the first task was GD1 and GD2. As sir always used to say, leaders are the one who always listens to other in order to understand them, not to respond them, not merely just to respond them. So कहने का मतलब यह है कि आप दूसरों को सुनो ताकि आप उन्हें समझ पाओ, ना कि आप जस्ट उन्हें सुन के उनको रिस्पॉन्ड कर पाओ, उन्हें सिर्फ जवाब दे पाओ. जब आप ये करोगे, यू आर एक्चुअली डेवलपिंग a म्यूचुअल relationship with them, a mutual respect with them, and by doing that you are creating an environment there in which if you are speaking they will listen to you. You are respecting their points, and this line not only helps you in your GD but also in other tasks of the GTOs, like in PGT. When somebody is giving the ideas and somebody wants to come in front, so why not to let them come in front? If you are stagnant somewhere else and you are not getting the idea, why to suppress someone's other's idea? Keep them come in front and let them execute their idea. So that was my strategy for GD1 and GD2. And since I was reading newspaper and I was brainstorming, so I was very much prepared with all the topics. I could speak up to 4-5 minutes for every topic that was already prepared in my mind, so it was not a big task. And when it come to group planning exercise, so when you start again doing the connectivity, you are connecting the invisible thing with the visible thing. You are connecting the invisible resources in your map with the visibility. Visibility is you yourself, visibility is the areas nearby, or visibility is any resources which you can which are given in your placards, the or the sheet which is given. So when you start doing that, you're automatically getting the control of the complete map. You can easily counter the other points. You can easily make the movement of your team from one point to another point without wasting any time. So this how you can improve your gp group planning exercise. And in my case, instead of writing it down complete paragraph, I invested more time in calculating the distance and time, because that's the crucial thing. Everything in group planning exercise goes according to the time and the distance. That's why the scale is given to you to utilize it. So instead of writing the complete full paragraphs, I was writing down that my team went from point A to point B and dropped down some of the people there and moved from that point to the other nearby village or some district headquarter. But at the same time, I was also writing down the time, what time it took from reaching from point A to district headquarter, and the distance and all. So that's how my response got much more clear. And in PGT, and very interesting thing happened with me is when we reached up to PGT 3, and nobody was coming out with an idea. It was a very tricky type of structure. There was four poles, and with that four poles, an A-like structure was hanging. So I knew that this hanging structure is gonna be hectic for us. So Gto sir asked, "Does anybody have the idea?" And immediately I got the idea how to solve it. The moment he asked, I don't know how, but I got the idea. So I told him the idea that I will restrain the movement of the structure and I will use the bencher concept. And bencher means so that you can connect it. I'm saying the bencher, but there I use the word the cantilever, and then I for the extension I can use the bully. But nobody listens to me. And at the same time, some other gave some idea, and I actually told him to come in front. So from the very first point of the PGT1, I was telling that instead of investing time in discussing the solutions, if you have something to solve it out or to execute it, please come in front. So I exchanged my place, and again, the GTO sir said to the complete group that one of your friend, your batchmate has given the idea 5 minutes before, and I exactly knew that that was my idea, but still they ignored my idea. And again, the GTO sir asked, "Does anybody have the idea?" I raised my hand, and I went to that structure. I executed my idea. Then GTO sir asked, "So, gentlemen, what do you feel that it's a workable idea?" Still, everybody was against me, but I know that this idea is already been executed in my mind, and I was very much certain that this is gonna work. So GTO sir asked me to walk over it. I stand on the plank. I walk over from plank to bully and then to the end structure. And then GTO sir said that, "What more stability do you want?" So the point is, even if your team is against you, although I never want my team to be against me, I never want to be standing there alone. I always want my team to be with me. I always want to push my team together, to move my team together. That was my mindset. But still, my team was against me. But nevertheless, um, we got completed with a PGT. And when the PGT 3, my solution was accepted, so I knew that this time I'm gonna make it, because the gut feeling got developed. And then later on, when we move on to the lecturate, yes, again, the 5 point perception. If you start thinking everything with respect to 5 point perception, so my topic was private sector versus public sector. So I connected with the national level to my level to the experience which my friends shared it with me. I included that also, and then with making the base same, I was differentiating, because it is said that in order to compare something, you have to make the base same. So I was doing that, and by doing this, my lecture was very much excellent. It was very much good. So even I could speak up to 30 minutes. So that's the power of 5 point perception. You got ample number of points to speak on to a very uh, even a mediocre type of topic. You can speak up to 30-40 minutes. It won't be a much challenge for you. Then for the individual obstacle, so since I was very much physically fit, and in NSB Vishakhapatnam, that Burma Bridge is not working. It was under some construction or some repairment. So we were left with only 9 tasks. So I completed all in a single go. But not in a single go, but I was doing it one by one instead of wasting my time from moving from here to there. So when I reached up to the balancing beam, I tried it twice. I could not do it. So I move on to the next structure. Then I completed all the others in a single go, as it was instructed by sir. I will also advise you to listen to the GTO sir completely. If he's saying you to uh, say something in on the structure when you're moving on to the command, when you're doing the commando walk, and if he's saying to shout out loudly commando and your name, you should do it. And if you are on a Tarzan swing, and if GTO sir is saying you to shout out like a Tarzan, you should do it. And if he's saying that while you're doing the tiger leap, you should hold it for 2 to 3 seconds. It won't take much time to stabilize yourself on the rope, so you should do it. So it also says that you are very much attentive while he was explaining you about the do's and don'ts. After he explained each and every structure, he also explained about do's and don'ts, so that we don't get any rope burn or any injuries. So by doing that, I completed all the 9. And since the balancing beam was very much difficult for me, i come I did it at the end, but I make sure that I complete all the 9. Then group obstacle race, that didn't happen for us due to COVID norms. They were not allowing us to gather together to make a group kind of grouping there. So it was more difficult to do the GOI, group obstacle race. So GOR, group obstacle race. So that never happened for us. Then in command task, very interesting thing happened. Before the command task, we were sitting in a hut, concrete, made up of concrete, and facing towards the wall. And at the time, I speak out a bit loudly that whoever do I'll call, please make sure that you give your 100%. And from my side, I make sure that I make this command task first fun and interesting for you, because as sir you always used to say, you're not going there to make a friend. Although friendship is important, but merely by 5 days you won't be able to know them very inside out. So very first day, I was very much sure that I will select someone who can handle plank very smoothly. And secondly, I'll select the person who is good in tying the knots. So I got this two thing. And third thing is, I should select those person who will not interfere with my task, because that won't go against me. If I'm doing the command task and you are slightly pinching me out there, do this or that, and you are giving me the advice even without asking, so that won't go against me. That won't be negative for me, it will be a negative for you. So I would never want anybody to go to have the negative markings when they are moving with me. So I was looking on to these 3 points. And uh, that was definitely the hardest structure there that I was given. So the priority which they call us, they will call according to the number which you have gained up till the command task, means before the start of command task. So I was called at the end. And even in command task, only single person call me. So it doesn't matter if somebody calls you or not. It's your responsibility is to go give you 100%, not to make other to understand that you are the best. So you try to give you 100% and leave rest on to the other person. If they are calling you, that's okay. If they are not calling you, even that's okay, because you know that you are the best in yourself, because you have prepared inside out. So moving on to the next thing, that command task happened. And then FGT, this it was again normal. So your GTO goes like, they will make you do thing in group, then they will separate you, then again they will make you do thing in groups. So again, the FGT is same as the PGT, very simple structures, nothing very hi-fi. But on that structure, they will ask you how much time you need. So somebody was saying 5 minutes, somebody was saying 10 minutes. So for 5 minutes, GTO sir replied, that's very less count of you should take more time. And somebody is saying 10 minutes. So said, I won't be giving you that much amount of time. So immediately I said, sir, 7 minutes. So sir replied very calculative, and I'll give you the 7 minutes. But it was a group effort, and the group was working very smoothly, and we were in coordination since we were doing the GTO for last 2 days together. So we were able to complete it within 4 minutes, and that was very good. So this was my overall experience in SSB. But at the end, my advice will be to go through the 5 BRCC exercise, because what I feel is they are not preparing you for the SSB, they are preparing you for the life. For example, I can say, if you are doing the 5 point perception, if you are doing the brainstorming, then in some time it is possible that you might have prepared 22, 24 to 30 lecture topics, but it's quite possible that it won't come, something else come. But if you are doing the 5 point perception, and if you are doing the brainstorming, actually you are understanding the topic, you are understanding the topic in 5 different perceptions and in depth, so that whenever any topic will come, you are able to speak for 3 minutes at least, very easily. You can go up to beyond 3 minutes, but 3 minutes you can speak at least. With That's the power of 5 BRCC. So that was my experience for the SSB, and uh, these all analogies I can connect it with the Lakshya Academy's YouTube channel. So that's I'll be very much thankful for them. Because of them only, got to change my mindset, and I got recommended. So thank you everyone for listening to this, and prepare best, be the best version of yourself, and get recommended as soon as possible.